Now at 10, ground is broken for an RV park that's part of a plan for a future Northeast Oklahoma theme park. Plus, some local students get in the Halloween spirit by studying the inner workings of a pumpkin. And organizers reveal the theme of this year's Joplin Christmas Parade.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Officials in Craig County, Oklahoma today broke ground on the first phase of the American Heartland theme park development, a 350-space RV park and campground. This is KOIM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Pittsburgh native Gene Bicknell is the founder of the company behind the project. Emery Bryan has more.
A few RVs were on the site to help people imagine what's coming, but otherwise this 320-acre parcel just east of Veneta is a blank slate. The developers broke ground today on the Three Ponies RV park with state and local officials who predict great things to come.
We've had a tremendous outpouring already, but I expect that after today our phones are going to be ringing off the hook.
Though it's ranch land now with limited development, the city intends to extend police, fire, and full utilities to the site. Three Ponies is described as a luxury RV park with a rec center and general store on site.
The developers here imagine an RV park with 750 spots and 300 cabins. It'll take 2 years to build and cost $100 million. During the construction of this, they'll break ground on the American Heartland theme park.
We're going to open that theme park in 2026. Yeah, so we're ready. We're pushing dirt today, and we hope to push dirt over there soon.
The groundbreaking is planned next spring at the earliest on the theme park, while construction will start immediately on the RV park. It's all part of a larger plan to inspire a new patriotism, according to founder Gene Bicknell.
To tell the world that we're still America, and that we're going to be America, and they're not going to take it away from us. So that's our whole purpose.
The developers are still in talks with the state and city about incentives for the project.
That is a lot of different conversations that are happening, but the state wants to be supportive.
The RV park alone is expected to employ 300 people when it opens in 2 years.
Again, that theme park itself is scheduled to open in 2026. Another cold night ahead of us. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we had a cold start during the morning hours. Our first morning that we've had a hard freeze this fall season. 27 is where we bottomed out. Only 43, even with the sunshine. That is 22 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. And look at this. We're already in the 20s. Joplin, Pittsburgh, at least we are dry, but temperatures dropping. 27 in Stockton, 33 in Anderson, Grand Lake 32. We have Parsons sitting at 26 degrees, but clear skies, not much going on. All the rain that we saw over the weekend is gone. It was also breezy throughout the day, but the winds are calming down just a little bit. We do have a weak front that's going to slide in during the morning hours, so that will kick our northerly winds up once again as we get into the daytime hours tomorrow. But we hang into the 20s tonight. Back to 34 by 10 a.m. Of course, tomorrow's Halloween. We're going to look at that forecast here in just a bit.
See you soon. Police in Independence, Kansas are investigating a deadly shooting. That shooting happened this morning in the 1100 block of West Cedar. When officers arrived, they found 37-year-old Jason York of Independence with a gunshot wound. He died at the scene. Police have not yet arrested anyone in this case. Authorities have filed new charges after Labette County Sheriff's officers seized narcotics while executing a search warrant at a tobacco shop in Parsons, Kansas. Authorities executed 3 search warrants at the tobacco store called Hashtag and at 2 homes nearby. Law officers seized about 9 pounds of marijuana, 4 ounces of methamphetamine, 2 grams of suspected fentanyl, and $18,000 cash. The 3 warrants were issued after an 8-month investigation by the Sheriff's Office. Authorities arrested Dorian L. Allen during that search. They've charged him with distribution of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia distributed within 1,000 feet of a school, and other crimes.
You know, our community is pretty good about relaying information to us and giving us heads up on those kind of things. So, you know, we're very glad we have the community we have.
The Labette County Sheriff's Office worked with the Parsons Police Department and the Kansas Department of Revenue on this case. Organizers today announced the theme for this year's Christmas parade in Joplin, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Freeman Health System and the City of Joplin unveiled this year's emblem as well, which features a smiling snowman sitting next to a Christmas green electric guitar. Freeman has managed the city's Christmas parade since 2014. Officials say the partnership has been beneficial for everyone.
When you think about Christmas in Joplin, one of the most iconic traditions is the Christmas parade. And I know families that every year have their spot on Main Street that they camp out and they watch the parade.
Money raised from the parade benefits the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. The parade is scheduled for Tuesday, December 5th. Newton County residents can now sign up for Christmas food baskets from the Newton County Food Brigade. The Help Center in Neosho will be open most days through November 16th for people to apply for help. Anyone can sign up. To do so, residents will need a photo ID, proof of residency, and a social security card for each resident of the home. For specific dates and times, you can check out the Facebook page of the Help Center. Pumpkins took the spotlight today at the Steadley Elementary School in Carthage. The school this afternoon carved out some time for third grade students to do experiments at the school's annual Pumpkin Lab. KOIM's Elise Noe has that story.
Steadley Elementary third graders had the opportunity to have a hands-on learning experience as they combined math skills with gourds for the school's annual Pumpkin Lab. The students worked on their multiplication tools while weighing and measuring their pumpkins and counting the pumpkin ribs and seeds.
They're working on multiplying by tens, they're working on estimating, they're working on circumference.
We're opening a pumpkin at the top, and we're going to count how much seeds there are.
For third grade teacher Nicole Bayless, the Pumpkin Lab has been a staple in the curriculum for the past 19 years she's been teaching.
It's one of our tried and true activities that's just a little bit more fun. It's way more fun than just sitting down and doing a worksheet about multiplication. It's a hands-on activity.
The Pumpkin Lab provides a way for students to stay engaged in the days leading up to Halloween, a holiday most kids wait for in anticipation.
Because usually when we do some of the Halloween stuff at school, we get to do some pumpkins, we get to do some candy bags, and we get to dress up.
So the kids are obviously very focused on Halloween right now. That's all that's on their mind, candy, dressing up, everything. So just to get the most out of these days surrounding a holiday, we just try to incorporate some hands-on fun math activities.
In Carthage, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
Along with teaching multiplication tools, the Pumpkin Lab teaches the students how to work together as a team. Joplin's Lafayette House gets a grant courtesy of the Ozark Food Harvest. It's a portion of a $1 million investment Ozark Food Harvest is making in 70 organizations to relieve hunger in southwest Missouri. The Lafayette House helps provide a safe haven for survivors of domestic abuse. The grant will allow the house to buy a new refrigerator, increasing its capacity to feed families in need. Lafayette House officials say their current unit is more than 20 years old and recently quit working. Coming up, the United Auto Workers reach a tentative deal with General Motors, what it could mean for striking workers. Plus, the Biden administration takes a new approach to student loan forgiveness. The United Auto Workers Union has suspended its coast-to-coast stand-up strikes against the U.S. automakers. The strikes, ongoing for more than 6 weeks, were called off after the union, representing 146,000 auto workers, reached an agreement with General Motors today on a tentative contract. As Danya Bacchus reports, GM is the last of the big three to come to terms with its blue-collar employees.
The UAW says it reached an agreement with General Motors early Monday morning.
I think this is great news for Detroit and for the country.
The deal reportedly contains a record-setting 25% wage increase along with cost of living increases.
Auto workers got the kind of raise they deserve for their role in the success of these companies, and I think the leaders of the three companies handled themselves well.
GM is the last of the Detroit automakers to settle. Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler, Ram, and Jeep, reached an agreement Saturday. Ford announced its deal last week. Auto workers demanded higher wages, while the companies were trying to hold the line and invest more profits in electric vehicle technology. Negotiations started in July. A wave of coast-to-coast strikes started September 15th, when the union's agreements with the companies expired. The economic losses from the strikes are now more than $9 billion and growing. President Biden was the first sitting president to join auto workers on a picket line. He congratulated them during remarks at the White House today, saying they're being rewarded for keeping the auto industry going during the financial crisis more than a decade ago.
These agreements ensure the iconic Big Three can still lead the world in quality and innovation. Due to the commitment and solidarity of the UAW workers, willing to exercise their right to collectively.
All three agreements still must be ratified by the rank and file.
I'm hopeful that we can get to that point and get back to work making the best vehicles on the planet.
Once approved, the new contracts would run for 4.5 years. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The CEO of General Motors released a statement saying GM is pleased to have reached a tentative agreement with the UAW that reflects the contributions of the team while enabling us to continue to invest in our future and provide good jobs in the U.S. End quote. The Biden administration says it'll spend $1.3 billion of new federal funding to help create 3 new massive electrical transmission lines. It's a bid to improve the nation's power grid and get more renewable energy into America's homes and businesses. Administration officials say the lines will bring a significant amount of new wind, solar, and Canadian hydropower onto the grid, enough to power around 3 million homes. The Biden administration is taking another shot at creating a new student loan forgiveness program. While the program is in the very early stages, the Department of Education announced 4 groups of borrowers are being considered for eligibility. That includes those who currently have balances larger than what they originally borrowed and those who started repayments at least 25 years ago. The Department of Education is fining one of the country's largest student loan services for sending late statements to borrowers. The U.S. Department of Education says MOHELA, or the Missouri Higher Education Loan Authority, failed to send timely statements to 2.5 million borrowers. That delay caused more than 800,000 people to be delinquent on their loans. The Education Department is now withholding a $7.2 million October payment to MOHELA. A little later, Missouri Southern holds their weekly news conference as the Lions look to bounce back against Emporia State.
And we have some pretty cold nights ahead over the next few nights. We're going to look at that in your Halloween forecast coming up. Well, it's definitely a cool one outside for us today. Cold start, our first hard freeze of the fall season, but even with the sunshine, we could only get up into lower 40s for afternoon highs. Just 1 week ago, we were 82, and then, of course, the strong cold front rolled in on Friday. We had the rain, 40s all weekend, then again today, lower 40s for highs, and that's going to be a very similar number to what we see once again as we go into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. But overall, October, 2/3 of it have been above average for this time of the year. I don't know what happened to my tower cam there. 26 Stockton, 24 in Stockton this morning, 29 in Neosho, 31 in Miami, 28 in Chanute. So it was a cold start. You can see our highs. Most of us about 40 to about 43 once you get into our far western counties. And now we're dropping back. We're down to 30, 29 in Monette, 28 in Nevada, 27 in Pittsburgh, 27 in Chanute. Veneta is sitting at 29 degrees. We do have freeze warnings in effect again. Arkansas and also Oklahoma. Kansas and Missouri, you already got a hard enough freeze this morning, so we don't have to worry about freeze warnings from this point on. But still, if you have plants outside you don't want to get damaged, make sure you cover them up or bring them in. And we're going to be below freezing over the next several nights. All right, at least the winds have calmed down just a little bit. So they're calm, but we have a weak front that's going to slide through tomorrow. So the winds will pick up a little bit again out of the north as we go into the daytime hours. We're going to start in the 20s, back to 33, sunny skies by 10 a.m. And we have clear skies for us right now. Nothing's going on across the entire Central Plains. This storm system is rotating away from us, and if we look out toward the west, whole bunch of nothing. So that's our weather as we go through this week. Slow warming trend, but we're going to stay dry as we go through the next several days. Let me walk you through the next 48 hours. We're going to stop tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Mid-20s, clear skies. Look at the winds. Pick up a little bit out of the north as we go through the morning hours. By noon, we're back into the upper 30s once we get into the afternoon. Very similar to what we saw today, maybe even a degree cooler, so about 41, 42 degrees. Let's go into tomorrow evening when we quickly drop back near 30, and then a cold night tomorrow night, even colder. Most of us kind of in that 20, 21, 22 degree range. And then watch the winds on Wednesday. We get a southerly wind returning. That helps our temperatures warm up a little bit more as we get into the upper 40s by the time we head into Wednesday afternoon. Tuesday, day planner, Halloween, 28 at 7:36 by noon. Sunny skies, high temp of 42. So let's go into tomorrow evening. There's going to be a lot of kids out. At least it's going to be dry, but it's going to be cold. By 5 p.m., we're down to 37. We're down to 30 by 7 p.m. And then by 9 p.m., we're into the 20s. So we're going to have to bundle all those kiddos up tomorrow evening. 43 tomorrow, 49 on Wednesday. Back to 58 Thursday, so we get back to where it feels pretty good. Friday looks great, 65, 60s over the weekend. May get a few showers late Saturday, but no big storm systems heading in our direction over the next week or so.
That dancing mummy on that graphic is a little disturbing, I think.
It is. It is.
I can't quite decide if it's doing the twist or maybe it's just getting a little hot from that fire behind it.
But think about it. I only bring him out once a year.
Yes. And then he goes back into his crypt.
Mummification, yes.
I guess. Thanks, Todd. Still ahead, the Carthage Tigers and Neosho Wildcats soccer teams compete in district tournaments. And the Division II regional rankings have been released. Brock Baldridge is going to break down where Pitt State football ranks. That and a lot more next in sports.
The Missouri Southern Lions are coming off a tough home loss last Saturday to Central Missouri, and well, it doesn't get any easier there as the Lions hit the road against a tough Emporia State team.
It's similar but not the same, and where Central Missouri was more utilizing spacing and open sets, you know, Emporia will show some 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends in the box, and so they do play up tempo at times. So that part's the same, but they got a whole nother bag of tricks that we got to be ready for.
We just got to play catch and do what we do best. So like from week 1 and week 2, we just got to be able to bring that momentum to the end of the season.
The Pitt State Gorillas are 9-0 with only 2 games remaining in the regular season. Well, earlier this afternoon, the Division II college football regional rankings came out, and well, that's a pretty good indication to see where the Gorillas would be placed if the season ended today. So here is the latest college football Division II regional rankings. If you don't know what that means, well, just think of it as the Division I level with the College Football Playoff Committee. And if the season ended today, this is where the teams would be ranked in the regional bracket. As you can see, Pittsburgh State Gorillas are number 1 and the Super Region number 3, which is basically the Midwest region. So with that being said, the number 1 team would earn a bye, which would be big. A couple of other MIAA schools on this list include Central Missouri at number 4 and Missouri Western at number 9, who Pitt State will play on the road this weekend in St. Joe. Well, the high school fall sports season is slowly coming to an end here in Southwest Missouri, and however, there's a few teams tonight in districts playing for some soccer titles at the COC level. Number 2 seeded Carthage facing the number 3 seeded Ray-Peck Panthers in the Class 4 District 6 semifinals. Carthage had a lead at one point, but they fall to Ray-Peck in this one, 2-1 in overtime. Tough loss there as the Tiger season comes to an end with a 19-5 overall record. Elsewhere tonight in the Class 4 District 5 tournament, number 6 seeded Neosho Wildcats men's soccer team began their postseason tonight against the number 3 seeded Nixa Eagles. Tough game for Neosho as they lose this one 6-0. Wildcats season comes to an end with a 7-11 record. Well, Game 3 of the World Series tonight takes place in Phoenix, Arizona between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the winner tonight will have a 2-1 series lead. The Texas Rangers come out on top with a 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks. Texas now leads the series 2-1. Game 4 of the World Series is on Halloween night. Arizona will look to tie that series with a win. Let's look for sports. We'll be back for more news after this.
The Kiwanis Club hosted their second annual Trunk or Treat this evening at Baxter Springs High School. Purpose of the event is to bring the community together and celebrate Halloween, maybe with some little police officers or, I don't know, prisoners or witches or whatever that other thing was with a tail. Oh, there it is, a Dalmatian, I guess. The Kiwanis Club hosted a drive-through trunk or treat during the pandemic and wanted to continue their outreach in the community by hosting trunks or treats for kiddos in the area.
We're hoping it'll grow each year and just gives us a chance to reach out to the community and get some businesses in here and a safe opportunity for the kids and hopefully a fun opportunity for the kids.
Tonight's event began around 5 p.m., wrapped up around 7 now. More than 300 people attended last year's trunk or treat. No word on the turnout this year, but they estimated it would be even larger. Looks like there were quite a few, including a dinosaur and a fire truck.
There you go.
It's a good combination.
Yeah.
Kind of cold tonight, Doug.
It is. We're going to drop back 26, 27 degrees for an overnight low. Only 43 tomorrow, very similar to what we had today. We are going to have the sunshine, then down to 22 tomorrow night. So it's going to be cold the next couple days.
Yeah, you want to find a trick-or-treating event indoors if you can. Final sports note.
Yeah, Pitt State, Missouri Southern, both on the road this weekend. Pitt State going against a tough Missouri Western team, a team that really needs a win to keep their season alive. So lots of urgency in that game.
Gorillas looked really good last year.
They did.
They might be even better this year. They are rolling.
Can't make an argument with that.
Thanks for joining us. Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.